Let's talk some toys in here.
Hey, what's up everybody? Today it's Manchild. Alright, so today for review, I'm going to do something a little different. So these are figures that come from the company Schleich, or the Eldrador Creatures series. I don't usually review these. I have collected them on and off over the years, or picked them up when I see them online for a decent price anyway. Was always fascinated with creatures and monsters and all that good stuff. It's kind of what got me into toy collecting, going back to as a child. And MOTU came later. And while I'm waiting for more MOTU stuff, I figure I would review these. I think these go really good with especially smaller type figures like the micro MOTU figures or Mega Constructs, Eternia Mini, stuff like that. They can also mix in with your Origins, so I'll bring an Origins figure in. And some mini figures that I have as well. I have some Spawn and some mini MOTU figures that I've also had for a while. I think I'm going to go good with these. I think I'm going to put them in my Eternia Moat around that area. But, yeah, so if you're not familiar, they're kind of like the Eldrador series or creatures. They're sort of like a faction of, so they have like lava and fire, ice, shadow, rock, water, and jungle. So in this case, we have the Fire Kraken, which is like, yeah, octopus type serpent made out of lava, and then you have the ice bug. And I'll bring in some other creatures I have as well from the Eldrador series just to compare and show you what I have. So you can mix them together just as a faction, or they're good for kids. That's basically what they're designed for. Little collectors buy them too. It's like MOTU and everything. Or to mix and mash with minifigures. So anyway, I thought I'd just, yeah, why I have these in hand, show you for people who might want these, and take a closer look at them. And now, here's a quick look at the images and back of the packaging. So yeah, we just see the ice bug on the ice plane going against the lava or the Fire Kraken on the fire plane, I'll call it. Here's some more images of other figures that's part of this series. I do have the dragon and a wolf. I don't have that thing. I don't collect everything. Some things here and there. Sometimes they give you hints to other accessories out. So you have like an ice box or dungeon for that bug. And then, of course, one for the Fire Kraken, which looks pretty cool. These are the parts numbers, and of course there's a parts number for this set. And another thing with these creatures too is they remind me of something from like Dungeons and Dragons, which a lot of people like and collect. Alright, and here's a quick look with the Ice Bug and Fire Kraken out of package. You just cut some wires off with cutters and yeah, just take them out of the box. They don't even have a window or nothing. So yeah, we'll go over one at a time and we'll do the comparisons with the figures, and then I'll put them in my Eternia Moat, bring some MOTU into the picture. And some Origins, right? It's the whole point of this. So the thing about these is that they're usually not articulated. They don't have any articulation. Some figures do, like that dragon, which I'll bring in, the wings and stuff like that. So they're pre-posed. Now they are a good size, really well detailed. I want to say the paint or how they're designed, it's non-toxic, so they don't smell. I think these are, again, good for kids that want to play with them. I think they can go in water and pools and stuff like that. The paint won't come off or nothing. Yeah, they're good for dioramas and all that good stuff from what I can see. Anyway, let's take a look at the ice beetle first. So here's a closer look at that ice beetle. Yeah, really cool detail. Again, it doesn't, yeah, there's no articulation. It almost looks like the two legs would move, but they don't. I thought these would spin down. Again, some figures might have that. This one doesn't. But the sculpt is great. The paint, the extra wash, yeah, it looks like it's all made out of a combination of snow and ice. And I like what a lot of these figures, depending on the faction, in this case, the Ice Beetle, part of the Ice faction. You look at the crystals on the back, the ice crystals. That's a translucent piece. Now, that's separate. It's like plugged and glued on or something, looks like. But yeah, you got the eye. You can see the detail in the the jaw, the eyes. Again, nothing articulates. Has this pointy, like an ice horn, which is cool. Here's the bottom. Yeah, I like how all the legs are designed. Right, here's the back and the overall shell. Again, not much to it, but just so you get an idea of the size, paint, detail. That's about it as far as the ice beetle. And now, to take a look at some quick comparisons. Here's some more ice monsters from the ice faction from Schleich that I do have. They make other things too. Again, I don't have everything, but yeah, pretty cool stuff. Some of these, again, would mix good with Origins, depending on the size, and other things for minifigures, which I'll bring in soon against the ice beetle. Well, yeah, they have an ice tiger, so pretty cool looking. You can see the ice on the back, but again, this is pre-posed, the paws out. You know, yeah, it would have been cool if this was articulated. Just give you an example of that. They have another type of ice spider. I mean, look at the detail on that. Awesome. Again, doesn't articulate, but it's everything's soft, by the way, too, as far as I should mention that. flexible, but it's not, yeah, it doesn't articulate, but that's another cool piece. This is another mini ice monster. Now, this one does have articulation in the arms. That's, I think, about it. Is this one arm too? I know it's stuck, but that's the only articulation on that figure. He has an ice mace that keeps falling out of hand. Now, this is another cool one too. You got this larger ice beast. This one now articulates at the waist. Okay, the arms have articulation around like a big ball joint. You can see in the sockets, goes all around. And the mouth does too on this one. Check that out. He has a sword inside that comes out. Right? Pretty cool. So, yeah, that's an impressive one. Every now and then they get larger figures. And they've done a, they made like a fire one in this size. And I think a rock as well. Pretty cool. And yeah, you can just see the comparison against the ice beetle. So just give you an idea what's out. And there's other things too. They have a few other ones with ice creatures that I don't have. Okay, so the next thing dealing with the ice bug is, of course, bringing our figure comparisons. Again, it's kind of one of the reasons why I collect these, or just as a factions, going back to something like Dungeons & Dragons and creatures I always liked. So, and I'm going to leave this larger ice monster in as well, because he's the largest one in the series, as far as the ice figures that I know of. So here's an Origins He-Man. Now, is a comparison, these can make for some smaller creatures for the MOTU Origins, again, in this case, He-Man, to battle. You know, you've seen that in, yeah, various movies, that kind of thing, with just different creatures are smaller. So yeah, they can work for Origins, but I think they're better with minifigures. So let's bring some of those in. All right, now here's a quick look with some of the minifigures that I do have and collect against these Schleich ice beasts. These make more sense. So, and going back to if you collect the Mega Constructs or Eternia minis and stuff like that, I don't have any of those. There's a bunch, you know, anything between like 2, I would say up to 4-inch figures works best with these. Now, let's see, I have a 2000X He-Man. This was came from an older line. I think he's a 3-inch figure, I want to say. And then this is the MOTU Micro Collection. These are pretty cool. These are 2.5-inch figures, I think. You have He-Man, it's pre-posed, Merman, Right Man at Arms. They only made 5 of these. And then I have my Spawn figures from McFarlane Toys. These are awesome. These are pretty old too, but highly detailed. I got a bunch of these. I'm just bringing in a couple for now. Here's a Redeemer. All right, let's surround them with some of these figures, kind of give you an idea of size and comparison. Yeah, that looks much better. Again, if you had something a little taller, that would work out really well with this ice beetle. All right, so moving forward with the Fire Kraken, or it looks like a big lava octopus. Yeah, this is the most impressive looking one. It's a decent size. Again, not articulated, but tentacles, you know, they are rubbery enough to where you can move them around, I guess. But look at the detail on that. So just kind of like how the ice faction figures, creatures have the ice up top. This has like flowing fire, lava, or flames on top of the head. It's also a translucent plastic. And then all the outer tentacles, it looks like, has like, yeah, fire effects coming off. And then the back ones have like some kind of claws. But look at that. It has all the suction cups sculpted, like sticking out. Even on the bottom, it has a mouth with the teeth. Well, that's awesome. I love the colors, too. You have a combination of, like, yeah, just lava effects. Fire, the burnt rock. Then the outer part of tentacles, you can just see the paint, how it's, yeah, it goes to a lighter flame, I guess. And then, okay, the heavier lava at the front of the body, it's already mentioned. It has a couple pairs of eyes painted, fiery eyes. You got 4. And then I guess these are, it looks like the gills on each side. So, once again, moving forward with some comparisons, just like the Ice Bug, but with the lava figures, Fire Octopus, Kraken. So, yeah, this is pretty much some of the Fire faction of these creatures they have out. Again, they have a bunch of stuff out. I have several, maybe. I just brought in a few. But, okay, so, yeah, our Fire Kraken, they have a Fire Dragon. I mean, now this one, the jaw articulates. There's a tongue sculpt in there. You can see the fire in the back. This is an awesome piece, too. Again, just cool for dioramas and stuff like that, but not going to do much with it. Now, here's their other larger beast. It's a reuse of parts, just like MOTU does, right, with the box and stuff like that. This guy keeps falling. Get him out of there. I like the larger ice beast, excuse me. But now this one, too. See, the jaw articulates. Has the same style arms as the ice beast, but the sculpting's a little different. It's not ice, obviously. Fire effects. Okay, spins at the waist. Let's see. That's it. But the detail is awesome on this. And again, same size as that ice beast. And then the last thing I'm going to bring in, for example, is this like 2-headed hound. That's really cool looking. Scary. Like creepy looking. Yeah, I don't know if this articulates either. Nope, but it's neat how one head's sculpted forward, the other one's sculpted up with the mouth open, one mouth closed. You can see the lava and fire effects around the chest. Same thing, and then the tail, just on fire coming out of the tail rather. All the details on the back, so it's kind of just a comparison with all the fire lava monsters together, at least what I have or brought in. And real quick, I also want to bring in the Schleich Fire Griffin. This is a really cool piece. I forgot I had it looking on my shelf. I know I had one of their flying creatures. They have a couple dragons out and stuff as well. But look at that. Now it's funny how it's designed. It has like the tail is like curves. That's how it sits up. It's kind of its base. So yeah, it doesn't articulate down like it's, flying. That would be neat. The legs are pre-postured on this. The mouth is sculpted open. Now the wings do articulate on this. Right? It's like a ball joint system. Similar to the Kraken I was just showing you. You see that? Again, the fire going down the back. That's probably the other larger figure. And again, I have a large dragon out too, which I don't have. But against this fire beast, I'm going to call it. Just wanted to bring that in for comparison. But yeah, again, these are just really cool looking. And then the last thing I want to do before we bring in the figure comparisons is I want to show you that I actually do have a vintage Dungeons & Dragons fire figure. I had this as a kid. I had a set of these. This was the only one I ever kept. Had it laying around in a box. This is from the 80s, but this is their fire monster. And it almost looks like it just fits in well with the Schleich stuff that comes, is out now decades later. Again, this wasn't articulated today, but it's really good sculpt and paint, creepy looking, good size compared to these and other figures. And yeah, I have this laying in one of my shelves in the background as far as Dungeons & Dragons. I do have some other Dungeons & Dragons figures as well, a few of them, but as far as vintage stuff, it's the only thing I have. And now, once again, moving on with the figure comparisons with these Schleich figures. So yeah, here's our Fire Kraken against, it's going to bring in Origins He-Man for now. It could work. We're part of a diorama. It's a smaller, Octopus Kraken figure if you want it for battle, or again, I'm going to put on my Eternia Moat, which I'll show soon. Now here's that Fire Griffin against He-Man. That would be perfect. That would work really well, I think, for size. It's almost like, reminds me of like Screech or Zoar, but yeah, a little bigger and posed differently, obviously. And then, of course, this would be that Fire Beast, so let's see his size. Now that could work. A little shorter, but against an Origins figure like He-Man. And then, of course, once again, I'm going to bring in the minifigures. As I already mentioned a couple times, that's what this stuff I think goes best with, or just some kind of background creatures with your Origins. So here's my mini MOTU ones, or the 2.5-inch figures, a 2000X He-Man, which is 3-inch, a Spawn, which is 3-inch, He-Man in the background. So you got to, get an idea with all those together. Yeah, they scale really well with this serpent creature as far as, if you want to fight them, set them up part of diorama. All right, it's 2000X He-Man, it's a regular He-Man. That's his figure. So for a little bonus and why we're doing comparisons, and yeah, now I'm getting into these creatures. Wasn't what I intended to do. I just wanted to focus on this Fire Kraken and the Ice Bug. But I did want to bring in a dragon, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video. It was on back of the images on the box. So here's a combination of some of the different creatures with the Schleich, their factions. Now this is from Popo. This is like a Fire Knight. He's 3.5-inch. I should have brought him in too. So he's, obviously you can see the size difference between him and the mini Man-at-Arms. So for people who collect the minis, the MOTU minis and stuff like that, they're closer to 3.5, 4-inch. It's kind of a comparison what the figure would look like. But, so, all right, going back to the Fire Kraken, let's get him out of the way for a minute. So I wanted to show you too, going back to some of their factions, this is their, like, Shadow Beast, Shadow Lion, right? So here's another one. It's really cool. And so the Shadow series, again, are usually black and grayish, and they have like a purplish crystals that come off the back, I guess. That's part of Shadow series with this stuff. Now here's their one of their water creatures. Again, they have several out. Now this one does articulate, pretty cool. And that, I thought this would be interesting because it's the only other octopus type creature they have, at least with tentacles. But then he has an upper body, which is, and then a squid, like a squid face with tentacles sculpted in. Really good detail, so that's pretty cool. And then here's that wolf that's part of the jungle. Excuse me. I think it's a jungle wolf, just like this dragon. So you can see that. Awesome detail. You can see the green crystals on the back, part of, I guess, their energy. All right, so he doesn't articulate. Let's see. Now, here's that dragon. Now, look at the size of that. Awesome sculpt. Does the jaw articulate in this? I don't remember. Again, I don't really review these. I might show them sometimes on tours. No, but it is sculpted open. The wings do articulate. Again, it has a ball joint system. But look at the effects in that. I mean, just has translucent wings. Again, all the jungle stuff, you know, foliage going on the back. Tail is, yeah, really awesome sculpt. Doesn't move. So, you know, just stuff for a collection or a diorama. It's about it. You're not going to do much with it for kids to play with. Now, here's their jungle beast. So, again, it's kind of going back to something like that fire ice giant or ice beast. Now, that one, the arms articulate, right? They just go up and down as the head. Okay, and the head goes back and forth, too. Yeah, they don't go out in a ball joint. You can go out a little bit with them. I don't think they're meant to. But pretty cool piece. Again, it goes good. And you bring in something like the Spawn, right? Just for a little comparison. Or the 2-inch Master Universe. I'll bring a Merman. Kind of see comparison with that. Let's get him out of the way. Now, here's another shadow, like a raptor, velociraptor, I think. Dinosaur, so you can see. Yeah, see how it has the purple energy crystals on the back. Colors. And then the other, this is the stone, I think a stone dragon. So this is part of their stone faction, I want to call it, a rock faction. Right, again, they have a bunch of figures out. I'm just bringing in one for now. I do have others. Now, the jaw does articulate, goes up and down. But look at the sculpting, the stone. And then these ones will usually have the green crystal, energy crystals on the back coming out of the, protruding through the body and stuff like that. And then he has some coming on the tail, but it's painted different. But yeah, really awesome detail. Oh, the tail, sorry, articulates up and down on this one. You can rotate around. But yeah, I just wanted to bring them in and show you a comparison with some of the stuff they make if you're interested why I'm on those other two figures. Okay, so now I'm coming over to my Eternia setup. Yeah, I never showed this. I mean, I reviewed the Eternia. I opened it up later like most people and had it in my living room. And this is kind of where I set it up. I'll do an update tour at some point. Yeah, I just threw the Origin Snake Mountain over there. Yeah, it takes up a lot of space now. I got a combination of... Yeah, it's kind of some of the figures I put up top. I got Rock On over there. I put some of the cartoon figures, yeah, mixed them around. I got the Roton, right? We got Stridor. It's my custom Ram Man. But anyway, aside that, we got a Webster hanging over there. So yeah, it's a mix and mash of stuff is what I'm saying. I don't have anything on a drawbridge. So going back to these creatures with the Moat, I'm gonna, let's see. So I just threw the Fire Kraken in here. I got the Ice Beetle over here. And again, I think, you know, to make Eternia feel like a bigger scale would be to put minifigures on it. So I'm going to put He-Man. I'm going to put Merman in front like there. Like so, excuse me. Alright, let me bring the camera a little bit and take a closer look. Alright, so that don't look bad. That works. Looks pretty cool. Oh, it's MOTU, the Moat monster I got in there. Yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to do with them. I was just going to set them up in a Moat and just want to see how they scale with this Eternia playset. I was really, it was the Fire Kraken I was most interested in, being with an octopus. It's the first thing caught my attention, mine. Like, yeah, maybe I'll put it in a Moat, Eternia. But it can work. Again, you use smaller figures, going back to those Eternia minis or whatever people collect, which I don't have. I just don't have the ones I showed. It's kind of what they would look like. And, all right, I guess they'll do the job for what I wanted. Alright, so that's my overall review on this new Schleich Fire Kraken and Ice Beetle set. Or actually my first time I ever reviewed these figures, aside, you know, once again showing them in a tour, some of them. Yeah, I think they're neat. You know, again, I'm going to put them back in my Eternia Moat over there, and I might surround my Eternia with some of these minifigures, because I like that scale. And again, you have Imaginex or any of those MOTU minis, or any of that kind of stuff, smaller scale stuff people collect. These will be great for... And to put them on your Eternia or Snake Mount, stuff like that. I think when I did my Snake Mount review, I showed these on Snake Mount, some of these minifigures and the Spawn. They look really great. I always like that. I wish they would come out with more of these just to scale up, make those playsets look bigger. And creatures as well, you know. You don't see that kind of stuff in MOTU. So sometimes you got to think outside the box and just pick up something different. Whether it's stuff from Schleich or Safari LTD or maybe McFarlane Toys or whatever's out there, you know. But I like them. They're pretty neat, you know, or just to collect them for mixed with some of your Dungeons and Dragons stuff, or for your kids, or yeah, just diorama setups. I think they're awesome. So I appreciate everybody watching. Until next time, take care.